Now, another thing I was doing while I was looking at this, I was like, for whatever reason, I just wanted to have like a slightly blue tint. So I picked a blue color. This was totally just a feeling kind of thing. You know, it's just like, I feel like it needs to have a little more blue. So I put a blue layer, just a blue solid on here. And you can just go down here if you want to and do solid color. It's the same thing. And I put it on overlay and then brought down the opacity. And just for whatever reason, I just wanted to cool it down a little bit. And I just felt it looked a little bit better like that. And there's some things about this that I actually like better than the image that I showed you guys. I actually like this a little bit better. I'm going to play around a little bit with this guy again. Let me see if I can make it. There we go. Okay. And I think you're seeing, I mean, we're pretty much getting there. All right. So okay, so now I want to talk real quick before we wrap this up. I want to talk about what kind of separates, you know, this, which looks decent, from something that looks kind of amazing. And what you can do is you can go and start finding stock images of particles and explosions and things like that, and start compositing them into this image. And one of the images that I have, it wasn't all that great, but I just found it and I really liked it, was this guy, which was just let me just see, normal, just some particles like this. But it looks natural. It looks completely, you know, it looks legit. So I put that in my thing. I did multiply. And for whatever reason, it just kind of added a little bit more realism. You can see that it's got the lines there. So I tried to, you know, alpha channel out the lines and overlay that on top. So it added just a little bit more realism to it. And then I went through and I have, you know, just a couple of stock images here. Here's another stock image I use all the time. If you took my other class, you saw it there. And it's just this, you know, texture of kind of a messed up texture. So you can add that on top if you want to. Let's get rid of this old file. And you can do multiply and just start adding things, and you start getting different feels, different looks, but it starts looking a lot more artistic, you know, and you're not even, that's one of the cheat things of Photoshop, is really that you can just add a texture onto stuff and all of a sudden it looks like, you know, it looks a lot more artsy. Okay, so one thing I also do on top of all my files, let me put that at 10, is I will do Shift Control Alt E, and I will make a copy on top, and sometimes I will just overlay a copy on top of everything. You can try overlay or soft light or hard light, and then just bring down the opacity again and see if that's something that you like. Overlay usually works the best. And you don't have to use it if you don't want to. I kind of like the way it was, to be honest. All right. So I think that's pretty close to what I had before. Hopefully you guys can post some of your own work in the homework section or whatever it's called. And I really look forward to seeing what you guys come up with. And if you have any questions, let me know and I'll try to answer them. You know, like I said, I've seen a bunch of different styles with this. I've seen people that just put a couple of, you know, put very few particles coming off, and people who will, you know, they come up with all different kinds of things. You know, some people that do circles coming off the side. But if you use this technique and you make sure that you don't just copy it, you know, I see some people, let me give you an example. They'll take the image like this, and then they'll, let's see, apply layer mask, and then they'll take another version of this. They'll do Control J, and they'll drag it. So let's just make this bigger, like this. And then they'll put an alpha channel and start, you know, drawing on the alpha channel with the brush. Oops. see. Oops, I've got all my other files on. I mean, I think you get the picture, but you know, basically they draw. Let me make sure I bring my flow. My flow. I'm always having trouble with my flow. And then they'll do it like this. And you know, I guess you can get by with it, but look at these horrible, you know, here's the eye, here's everything. And I mean, I guess you could go into this guy and start clone stamping stuff out, you know, and not making it look a little bit less, you know, I mean, that kind of works. And then you can also just draw black in this section. I think you guys are probably ready to be done with this anyway, so I'm trying to wrap it up. I just wanted to mention something. Okay, so you know, you could do that, but I mean, everybody is going to have their style, and I've taken other people's styles and adapted them to mine, you know. So anyway, I hope this has been helpful for you guys, and I look forward to seeing what you come up with. Also, don't forget to take a look at my Photoshop in 1 hour class and some of my other stuff. Hit me up on Twitter. I'm at, you know, I also host the Indie Film Academy. So it's Indie Film ACDMY on Twitter. And I'm also on Facebook and all over the place. All right. Thanks, guys.